In this video, I will show you a basic guide on how to do the main Terminus Easter Egg on Black Ops 6. I will soon be creating a video on some tips and tricks to make you more efficient in the way you complete this Easter egg, but without further ado, let's get into it. The first steps are to follow the objective and activate all the amp generators to turn on all the power and activate Pack-a-Punch. Each generator is spread throughout the map, so the first one is just ahead of you as you spawn in the guard station. Pay 500 essence and wait for it to turn on. During this time, an infinite amount of zombies will start to spawn, which will try to destroy it. Once you do protect it, it will kill all zombies in the area. Do this for the other two generators found in the living quarters and the biolab to activate all power to the map. After you turn on the amp generator in the biolab, you can jump into the water and activate the platform that is underwater to raise it. This platform has Pack-a-Punch. Unless you are playing on directed mode, the objectives will no longer guide you, so your next step is to obtain the DRI-11 Beamsmasher. This can be very rarely got in the mystery box, or you can get one for free. To get the free Beamsmasher, you need to put the dead wire ammo mod onto your weapon. Once you have this, head back to the platform with Pack-a-Punch in the biolab and interact with it to start raising it up. You will need to ride this up, and as you look north, there will be an open window with an electric box. Shoot this with your weapon that has dead wire, and an electrical current will travel through to another electrical box found on the side of the wall, next to the platform. Shoot this to make the electrical current travel to the box found as if it would be behind Pack-a-Punch if the platform is raised all the way up. Shoot this to make the electrical current travel to a box just slightly above the amp generator in the living quarters. Shoot this to make the electrical current travel through into a box in the rec yard just outside the living quarters. And then you can finally shoot it one last time to make it open the door to the left of the box. This room is where you will find a blueprint of the Beamsmasher. On the floor as you enter, there should be a zombie trapped under a fallen cabinet. In mine, there wasn't, but kill it to make it drop an EMF fob, which you can pick up. Head over to the C tower, and just to the right of the door next to Elemental Pop, there will be a table with a briefcase on it. Use the fob on this to open it and grab the multiphasic resonator. Be warned that as soon as you do this, a horde of vermin will spawn. Head back to the research office, which you opened, and insert the resonator into the device shown on the screen. You now need to go out and find 3 laptops found around the main island and interact with them. One is found here on the top level of the storage area, another is found on the top level of communications, and the final is found here on the docks. Now go back to the research office and interact with the computer device. This is where you will need to do a bit of maths, so let me explain. When you interact with the computer, small sticky notes with symbols will show on the bottom. These symbols correlate to a number on the whiteboard on the west wall. Your number will be a 2-digit number made up of the number on the vertical line followed by the horizontal line. In my game, X was 10, Y was 11, and Z was 20. Using these numbers, you need to work out the equations found on the north wall. These equations are always the same every game, but the numbers are different. The way to work this out is a bit of algebra. For the first equation, it is 2x plus 11, or in other words, 2 times 10, because we know that 10 is x, plus 11, which equals 31. The next equation is in brackets 2z plus y minus 5, which in other words is the number worked out to be 2 times 20 plus 11, which is 51, minus 5, which is 46. For the final equation, you need to work out in brackets y plus z minus x, which in other words is the number made up when adding 20 and 11, which is 31, minus 10, which is 21. Now that you have your 3 numbers, enter them in from equations 1 to 3. Once done correctly, you'll need to wait until the end of the round. If you didn't want to do this maths, then you can just pay Peck 5,000 essence and he will give you the answer, but where's the fun in that? And plus, it's a waste of money. Once the round has passed, you will be able to pick up the multiphasic resonator. Make your way down and hop onto a boat, then make your way to the Castle Rock Island. Place the resonator underneath the floating blue orb, and when done, an infinite amount of zombies will start to spawn. Every so often, the blue orb will beam to a zombie, which must be killed. When killed, it will drop a small blue orb, which, when picked up, will need to be transported into the bigger blue orb. Do this twice, and it will then travel to Crab Island, but appear in green. Before making your way over, make sure you pick up the resonator from the floor, as you will need to place it back down at the next orb. Once you are on Crab Island, repeat the step twice to kill a zombie that was beamed, and bring the smaller orb back to the bigger orb. Once done, pick up the resonator and make your way over to Temple Island, and again, kill a zombie that was beamed, and take the small orb to the big orb twice. Once you have done this, you will be presented with a flash of white. The resonator will be fully charged, all purple-eyed zombies will die, and it would have been turned into the amp munition. Pick this up and head back to the blueprint of the Beamsmasher in the research office and hold your interact button to craft it. Now that you have the Beamsmasher, you will need to head over to one of 3 tentacle traps. One is found in the living quarters, and the other 2 are found in the doorways to enter and exit the biolab. At the bottom of one of these traps under the vent, you will see some debris. You must activate the trap and then shoot the tentacles with the Beamsmasher, and once done correctly, it will drop a hard drive. Bring this back to Strauss and Peck in the guard station. You now need to head back down to the biolab and interact with the front of the containment chamber in the middle. You will be presented with Nathan, but before you can open it, you will need to find a code. This is a 3-digit code which can be found in 3 different places around the main island. The first is the clock in the interrogation rooms behind the caged off area. You'll need to make note of whatever the hour clock hand is on, or is closest to. The next is the number on the card found in the mess hall pinned to a corkboard on the east wall. The final number is found in engineering, where a small sign towards the northeast wall shows the amount of days since the last injury. Make a note of this number. Head back down to Nathan and enter the 3-digit number in order of the clock hand, the card, and then the sign. This next step will begin a mini boss fight with an elite amalgam and some charging zombies, so make sure you are somewhat prepared, but this isn't the final boss fight. Now, everyone in your game will need to turn all 4 handles of the containment chamber at the same time. Once done, the containment chamber will open and you are now required to defeat Nathan, who is the elite amalgam. You will be locked in the biolab until you defeat Nathan, or unless you are killed. Once you do defeat Nathan, a small emotional cutscene will play, but I will let you see that for yourselves. Once this is over, head into the water, and at the bottom of the seafloor in the biolab, you will find a keycard which you can pick up. You will now need to head over to the shipwreck, and underneath there will be a small ladder which leads up into a workshop, unlocked with the keycard. This is a small space, but on a table, you will find 2 node connectors. Beware that once you pick one of these up, you will be trapped in the workshop and are required to kill zombies that spawn. Once you survive the lockdown, make sure to pick up a node connector, or both if playing multiplayer, and head to 2 of 3 locations where you can attach these. One of these locations is found in the cave, where the speed coder is located. Another is on the east side of the Crab Island by the coast, and the final location is in the docks, underneath the sea tower. 2 of these locations won't have a node connected, so you will need to find which ones these are and attach them. When you get close to these areas, some zombies and a mangler will spawn, so watch out for those. When you have successfully attached both nodes, there will be a moment where some dialogue will begin between Peck, Strauss, and Sam. Head back to the guard station and some more dialogue will begin, and Sam will explain that you will need to hack 3 radio buoys found in the sea around the map. Before you do this, I recommend having a full ether shroud power ready, as well as 2 smoke grenades, as you need to do these next couple of steps in quick succession. Grab the device in the small container and head onto a boat. This map shows you where all 3 buoys can be found, and you will need to sail to each of these in quick succession, and hold your interact button to hack them. Some parasites will start to spawn, but will die if you successfully hack the buoy. As soon as you have hacked the last buoy, you will need to immediately head back to the biolab, because you now have 5 minutes to disarm 3 bombs found in this area. If you don't, you will die and the game will end. One of the locations are found above the Mealy Macchiato perk machine, so throw 1 smoke grenade next to the bomb so it shrouds you and gives you time to disarm it. If you let go of the interact button whilst doing this, it will reset. Now head over to another bomb location which can be found on the bottom level next to an ammo box and boat station, and throw down another smoke grenade to shroud you. The last location can be found on the other side of the lower level, underneath the crafting station. I would recommend using your ether shroud for this if you haven't already used it. Once you have successfully disarmed the final bomb, you will be presented with a white screen, and you are now boss fight ready. Before you go in, make sure you are as prepared as you can be, with all perks, a good score streak, good gobblegums, monkey bombs, a Pack-a-Punch 3 gold rarity weapon, and full armor, because this is difficult. If you have only completed the Liberty Falls Easter egg, this one is much harder. Once you feel ready, head on down to the biolab, and next to the Mealy Macchiato machine, you will find an unlocked door, which can be interacted with. Once you enter, a satisfying small cutscene will play, which I will let you experience firsthand, but after, you are thrown straight into action. This boss fight consists of 3 stages. During all the phases of this boss fight, tentacles from far away will start spitting out poison gas at you, so be careful of that, and you can actually shoot them if it gets a bit too much. The first phase is pretty simple, but can catch you off guard if you're not careful. You will need to shoot the glowing red spores on patient 13 to do max damage, but you can just shoot it normally if you can't. It will only stay and attack if you are in the same area long enough, and its spores will only appear when it attacks. If you fall off the edge, don't panic, just head back to the sides of the platform and there should be ladders leading up. Once you deal at least a third of patient 13's max health, the first phase will end and he will disappear for a while. This now gives you time to run around, collect yourself and wait for the next phase to start. Once it does, a max ammo power up spawns in front of the ammo box. This second phase is a bit trickier, where patient 13's weak spots changes to its mouth. After dealing enough damage, its weak spots will then change to its tentacles, and after they have both had enough damage, it will go back to its mouth. During this time, more zombies are spawning with manglers. After enough damage is done, patient 13 will disappear for a bit longer, giving you time to prepare for the next and final phase. During this time, more zombies, manglers, and even amalgams will start spawning, so be careful. After the final phase starts, another max ammo can be collected in front of the ammo box, and the arena will now be split. Its weak spots will now go back to its glowing red spores, but you have to pay attention as patient 13 has some new moves. He can now charge up a bunch of energy that, when released, will deal massive amount of damage to the point of going down. To prevent this, either enter the sea or deal enough damage to stop it from releasing it. It will also try to grab you with its tongue and swirl you around before trying to eat you, which will also instantly down you. Whilst all this is happening, amalgams, manglers, and zombies will all be spawning. However, if you manage to take it down and defeat it, congratulations! You have completed the Terminus main Easter egg. This is followed by a cutscene which I won't show and let you experience it for yourselves if you haven't watched it already. As I said in the beginning, I will be releasing a tips and tricks video to make this Easter egg even easier whilst making your playthroughs more efficient, so keep an eye out and subscribe. Please like if you found this basic guide useful, and I will catch you all in the next one.